there's a question that begins to echo quietly as we grow older, often surfacing in the silent spaces between birthdays, after doctor's visits, or in those quiet evenings when the house feels too big and too still. The question isn't always spoken aloud, but it's deeply felt. How can I grow older without becoming a burden? It's not just about money or health or needing help with groceries or stairs. It's about dignity. It's about the fear that your presence, once strong and giving, might someday become heavy for those you love. It's about the silent ache of watching others tiptoe around your needs, of feeling like your independence is slipping through your fingers, one compromise at a time. But here's what so many don't realize. Aging with grace isn't about denying the help we may need. It's about preparing emotionally, mentally, practically for that help to be received without guilt and offered without resentment. The truth is, we don't become a burden simply because we grow older. We become a burden when we ignore the responsibilities of our own aging. This story doesn't have to be one of decline. It can be one of strength, of wisdom, of gentle power, and it begins with reframing what it means to age well, not perfectly but well, in a way that honors your years, protects your relationships, and allows you to remain an active, purposeful participant in your own life. I remember a moment with my father not long after he turned 70 when we sat on the porch and he told me, "I don't want to be a weight you carry. I want to be a hand you hold when you need it." That image stayed with me because it reminded me that aging, when done intentionally, can be a gift, not just to ourselves, but to the people around us. So, how do we age without becoming a burden? In this series, we'll walk through the most important shifts, practical, emotional, spiritual, that help keep us rooted in our independence while still remaining connected to those we love. We'll explore the habits that support a lighter footprint, the mindsets that prevent emotional heaviness, and the actions that protect our dignity even as the body begins to change. This isn't about pretending we'll never need help. It's about making sure we need it with grace, about replacing fear with preparation, resentment with communication, and dependency with empowered partnership, because you are not here to be invisible or inconvenient or less than. You are here to live fully, love deeply, and leave behind not worry, but wisdom. And the time to begin that path is now. True independence in later life doesn't start with strength. It starts with awareness. It begins the moment you decide to stop waiting for others to take the lead and instead say to yourself, "This is my life. My well-being is my responsibility." From that place, everything changes. Let's begin with the body. One of the most loving things you can do for those around you is to take care of your physical health with the same intention you might reserve for a child or a cherished garden. Not through fear, but through daily devotion. That means regular checkups, yes, but it also means honest conversations with yourself. How's your energy, your balance, your breath? Are you sleeping well? Are you eating in a way that supports the life you want to lead, not the one you've left behind? Taking care of your body doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. A 20-minute walk, a glass of water before your morning coffee, a habit of stretching before bed. These are not grand gestures. They're quiet rituals. But over time, they build a body that holds up not just for your sake, but for the peace of mind of those who love you. And if something feels off, address it. Don't wait until it becomes an emergency others have to manage. Prevention in this stage of life is a gift you give both yourself and your family. Equally important is financial self-responsibility. Not wealth, not luxury, just clarity. Know what you have, know what you need, know what you can manage without depending on someone else's sacrifice. Because when you take the reins of your financial life, you reduce silent tension in relationships. You protect your autonomy. Start simple. Create a monthly budget, even if it's on a piece of paper by the kitchen table. Review where your money goes. Consider future expenses. Realistically, medical care, mobility aids, housing. These aren't signs of weakness, they're signs of wisdom. The more you prepare, the less your loved ones will need to worry or intervene. If you're unsure how to handle money matters, ask for help before it becomes urgent. A trusted friend, a financial advisor, even a community service group. Seeking guidance is not a sign of dependence, it's a sign of maturity. You're not placing your life in their hands. You're steering your ship with their light on the horizon. And communicate. Share your plans. Let your family know your wishes. Not so they carry the burden, but so they don't carry uncertainty. The unknown is often heavier than the truth. What's beautiful about owning your physical and financial well-being is that it creates space for joy, for spontaneity, for connection. When your foundation is stable, your relationships shift from obligation to celebration. You stop being a responsibility. You start being a source of calm, a steady light. As we grow older, the emotional landscape often becomes more complex, not simpler. There are quiet waves of guilt for asking for help even when it's necessary, unspoken fears about being forgotten, or worse, resented, and perhaps the most painful of all, the slow erosion of a sense of usefulness. But these emotions don't have to define your later years. In fact, they can become powerful signals, not warnings of decline, but invitations to deepen your inner life and to take charge of your narrative. The first step is releasing guilt, the invisible weight many older adults carry when accepting support. Here's the truth. Needing help is not failure. It's human, and receiving support doesn't diminish your value. It honors your life. You've spent decades giving, guiding, building. Now allowing someone to offer something back is not weakness, it's reciprocity. Let yourself receive with grace, not because you owe it to others, but because you've already earned it. At the same time, be mindful of unspoken expectations, yours and others. Perhaps you hoped a child would visit more often or assumed a friend would always be there. Disappointment is human, but holding on to it hardens the heart. Instead, turn expectations into invitations. Reach out first. Express your needs clearly. Offer connection instead of waiting for it. You'll be surprised how many relationships are waiting for permission to deepen. And perhaps most importantly, reclaim your sense of contribution. One of the biggest misconceptions about aging is that it's a gradual stepping away from life. But in truth, this season can be one of the richest in meaning if you choose to live it that way. You don't need a career or a paycheck to matter. Your wisdom, your presence, your stories, these are gifts, and the world still needs them. Mentor someone younger. Share your experiences with your grandchildren. Write letters. Teach. Volunteer. Simply listen with the full attention so few people receive these days. The key is to shift from measuring your worth by what you do to how you show up. Kindness is a contribution. Patience is a gift. Thoughtfulness is a legacy. Take time to reflect on what gives you joy, not just comfort. Joy awakens purpose. Maybe it's gardening, painting, storytelling, or learning something new. Purpose doesn't have to be public. It just needs to be yours. And in those moments of loneliness that inevitably visit, remember, solitude is not the same as isolation. There is sacred space in being alone. It's where you reconnect with yourself. It's where you remember that you are more than your role, more than your age, more than your aches. You are still becoming. What you nurture within you in these years, peace, clarity, purpose, radiates far beyond what others can see. You become not just someone aging, but someone refining, distilling, deepening. If there's one truth that echoes through every word of this journey, it's this: growing older is not a burden, it's a becoming of clarity, of care, of deepened wisdom that time alone can teach. And the fear that whispers, "I don't want to be a weight," that fear loses its grip the moment we choose to walk through these years, awake, intentional, and engage. You are not a problem to be managed. You are a presence to be honored. Your life in its current chapter holds as much light as any that came before, perhaps even more, because now it burns slower, steadier, and with greater warmth. So what can you do today? You can check in with your body, not to criticize, but to care. You can take one small financial step toward clarity, not control. You can reach out to one person with honesty, not expectation. You can sit with yourself for a moment without guilt, without noise, just gratitude. And you can remember you still belong to life, not as an afterthought, but as an anchor. Thank you for walking this path with such openness. If you carry even a single message from this journey, let it be this: you matter not less with age, but more. May your steps forward be light. May your presence be steady. May your heart stay wide open. And may you never forget you are not alone. This story is still yours to write. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the upcoming exciting videos.